Riding a roll here on episode 63 of White Heat presented by Godzilla Media. But first, just want to remind you that, hey, I know the summer is coming to an end relatively soon, but we're still going to get temperatures in the 80s and even the low 90s over the next couple of weeks as we go through the end of August and Labor Day weekend. And it's never too late for you to make sure that your AC system is up and running properly from our friends at Johnstone Supply in Troy. You can ask them about their high efficiency central AC systems and ductless mini splits. Tremendous brands in stock and at great prices like Goodman, Fujitsu, and Westinghouse. And if you need someone to help install a brand new system for you, Johnstone Supply in Troy can help with that too. And hey, don't forget that since we're at the end of summer, that means you're going to start thinking about when fall starts turning into winter. We know Northeast winters can be pretty ugly sometimes, which means you need to make sure that your heating system is in check. So, hey, never too early to get prepared ahead of time and make sure your heating system is in check as well. So, I'm sure Johnstone Supply and Troy can take care of that for you as well. Stop in and find out about their great service and products, whether it be Kev, James, Bird, George, anybody there. They'll be able to help you out to make sure you have a cool place for the rest of the summer and make sure that heating system is going to be good to go come the fall and winter. Give them a call, 518-272-5922, or stop by their location at 2600 6th Avenue in Troy. Once again, it's 518-272-5922, or visit them at johnstonesupply.com. Mr. Alexander, welcome in. How are you?
Better than I was 2 days ago.
We're going to leave it at that. When there's no need to really expand upon that, we
I no longer have a giant titanium contraption attached to my leg.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's good. No cage. We're not putting the leg in the cage. That's wonderful. Outstanding. How are you feeling otherwise?
All right. A little sore, but better than I was, considering all things.
Is it an Irish coffee today or just a regular coffee?
Just a regular coffee.
Okay.
But yeah. Thursday was not a fun day. Was supposed to go for the first adjustment to the cage. And I go in and they're like, yeah, your whole thing is shifted and it's not supposed to be like this. And I went, that doesn't sound good. And then you hear the words that you never want to hear from your surgeon. I've never seen that happen before.
Thanks, Doc.
Yeah. So 3 to 6 months with the thing on turned into 5 weeks and done.
Lovely.
But the downside is now I'm stuck in this wheelchair for at least another 8 weeks.
Pluses and minuses.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just jump right in to all the non-WWE, non-AEW, Ring of Honor stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start real quick with New Japan as the G1 has wrapped up.
Mm-hmm. The more things change, the more things they stay the same.
So, yeah. So the final four was Okada and Archer, Ospreay, and Naito, I believe. Or was it Ospreay and
Tamatanga?
Thank you. I don't know. I had that messed up. That's right. Ospreay, I think, beat Naito to get into whatever.
Yeah.
Finals turn out to be Okada and Ospreay, and you can probably take a guess from there who won the G1. So Okada wins for the fourth time, beating Ospreay in the finals. And are we at a point? I feel like they've been at this point for a few years now, but do you think New Japan is just so... They feel so betrayed and snake bitten by the way things ended with Kenny and the Bucks and all that they're just... Or is it more just Okada, Tanahashi, ooh, yay.
I think that's it. I think Okada's their draw, and they know he's their draw. And really, it's they're the same way here that WWE was in the late double O's. It's Okada's Cena, Tanahashi's Orton, um, I mean, I'm not, and just names. No, I'm not saying
Right.
like styles. Naito's Batista. Like it's, you got your same core group of guys in your main event picture, and it's like they don't really want to seem to pull the trigger on anyone else. Like I was super excited when they had Jay White. What do you call it? Jay White got that upset loss to Tama Tonga, which put Tama in the floor, and I was like, this could be something different. Let's go. And then nah, just nope.
Yeah, I mean it's you got some element of surprise. Like I also don't think anybody really thought Archer was going to win his block.
No.
Um, so but I mean it seems like there's no ballsy creative at any point
Right.
anymore. Like there's nothing imaginative. I think that would be the better word, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which is unfortunate. However, um, on the good side of that, you just mentioned the Tamatanga situation. Um, it was Jay White's only loss in the G1,
Right.
and now Tom is getting rewarded because, unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be what you would like it to be. But Tama is going to get a shot at Jay White's title October 10th in Ryogoku.
Okay. It's
That's not to say
something.
he's going to win, but
Right.
at least it's a moment in the spotlight.
Like they're
Um,
just they're super afraid to pull the trigger on Tamatanga, and Tamatanga's got what it takes.
I know.
It's
But
like he's
most,
a guy that they should have been building the past couple of years with the never open weight title and with the US title.
mhm.
And instead they were just like, let's put him with the world title. No, let's not. Let's put him. No, let's not.
So there's there's three other title matches currently scheduled during the Burning Spirit tour, which is going to be running through September for New Japan, and they put them all on the card that's going to be in Kobe on the 25th of September. Osprey is going to defend the U.S. title against David Finlay. Carl Anderson is going to defend the never openweight title against Hiroshi Tanahashi. And then the junior heavyweight tag champs from United Empire, Akira and TJP, are going to defend them against the former champs, 6 or 9, Master Wato and Taguchi. Um, so that's that. And then, yeah,
It's
so
not Kobe.
that's
It's Wild Boar.
sure what you say. Um, we'll roll with that. Sure. Um,
It's tasty.
New Japan is also scheduled a weekend of events in London. That's going to be the first weekend of October, which I believe is the first and second this year. Yep, it's a Royal Quest 2. Saturday the 1st and Sunday the 2nd, both at Crystal Palace National Sports Center in London.
Let me guess. ZSJ is going to come to the ring and demand a shot against Okada.
Uh, sure. I don't know. We'll see.
Because that was
Um,
his whole thing during the G1.
oh, okay.
Was that if he won, he was going to cash in London during this thing.
Okay. Um, I would also probably expect Osprey to defend the title at some point during that because it's London.
Yeah.
The U.S. title, that is. Um, and then other news from New Japan. New Japan Strong. They have booked a show in New York City the weekend of Halloween, Friday, October 28th.
Why is it always got to be that fucking weekend that I can't do shit?
Um, that's going to be the Palladium Times Square. Rumble on 44th Street is what they're calling it. So that's New Japan Strong.
That's an expensive venue.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. But that's pretty much it.
Like you would think that like I mean, granted, it's New Japan, and their britches are kind of big because they're like, we did MSG, so we can do anything we want in New York.
Right.
But honestly, I would work out something where I would use House of Glory's building instead of trying to run that venue in Times Square, because that venue is the one that I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the venue that used to be owned by Viacom. It used to be. It's gone through a bunch. I've been there. I've been to concerts there in the past. But it's like right by time. It's like right in the smack dab Times Square. I think the most recent was it was like the Paramount or something before it changed to the Palladium. It's a nice venue, and I could see how they could put a wrestling show on in there. It's expensive. Because I remember I went there in '07 to see Nightwish, and I had the VIP package, and it cost me like $300.
Let's see here.
But it's nice because they have like if you're not on the floor and you're up in the seats, the seats are super comfortable, and there's monitors like every like 10 feet, so you can like that are aimed down, so you get a great view.
Right. Yeah, it was originally known as the Lowe's Astor Plaza movie theater.
Yes.
Then after its renovation, reopened as Nokia
The
Theater.
Nokia Theater. That's what it was when I was there. Yep.
And then it was also known as Best Buy Theater and PlayStation Theater. Now
Yep.
it's Palladium Times Square.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah, it's like literally like a minute walk from the middle of Times Square. So
yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's a nice little spot. You know, you go to New York, you go to Times Square, you go over and grab a bite to eat at Planet Hollywood because there's no line, and then you go to the show.
Curious.
I don't even think the Planet Hollywood's open anymore. I haven't been in New York in a few years.
Probably not.
That sucks. I love them Captain Crunch chicken fingers.
Captain Crunch chicken fingers.
You ain't never had them? They're great. I make them at home.
Sounds lovely.
It's basically you just instead of using panko, you crush up Captain Crunch and use that as the breading that you dip in fucking dynamite.
That does sound delicious, not gonna lie. Looking to see. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. New Japan. I'm just looking at their website quick. Tickets. Let's see here. Tickets for the show. Hot damn.
What are they charging?
Jesus. Hang on.
Too much?
Yeah. Wow. I don't even know how to explain this. A little embarrassed to say this just because New Japan's strong. It's not New Japan. Actually, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, hold on. Let me go back to the New Japan website and see if this is being labeled as New Japan or New Japan Strong. Because if it's being labeled New Japan, then I can kind of.
It better be, because Strong runs in smaller venues that aren't as expensive. Strong is like house show level, like.
Right. That's why I'm questioning. That's why I'm questioning the. All right. So. Why is the pricing here feel so much different than? Okay. So. I think this is just a regular New Japan event, the way I'm looking at it right now. So, balcony seats ranged from, we'll just call it $40 to $70.
That's not bad.
Arena seats ranging from $80 to $150. Ringside ranging from $200 to $350.
Yikes.
And then there's a VIP box apparently you can get.
Yeah. I'm familiar.
$500.
I mean, the VIP box package is nice because you get to chill in the green room, and the green room is super fucking lush and beautiful. And there's usually a meet and greet that goes along with that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like I said, that's what I did in the past. That was fun. But don't scoff at the balcony seats there. Like I said, the balcony is super fucking comfortable. Like I'd go for that for $40.
Yeah, apparently the $80 and $100 arena seats are sold out, and everything else is labeled as almost gone on the New Japan site.
I mean, I believe it. It's not a big venue. But we also got to look at ticket resellers to see who scoffed up that.
The reason I'm kind of thrown off though is because I'm on the Ticketmaster, the main site for selling the tickets to the show.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing listed below $325, which I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'm confused, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe so. Yeah, the Japan site's full of shit, or the Palladium website's full of shit. I don't know. I don't know. So I'm just gonna move on from that. All right, moving on to Impact.
Hold on. There was one more thing about New Japan.
One more thing about New Japan, really?
Yeah.
What's that?
So apparently Kota Ibushi's contract is coming up.
Welcome to AEW.
No, I don't see that happening. But I thought he signed a lifetime contract with New Japan, and somehow lifetime turned into 3 years.
After the shit from the last 2 years, you really think they're gonna give a shit about that?
I really didn't think they'd let him go. This is the Yakuza, baby.
Fair.
I don't see him going to AEW. Honestly, he's one of those guys where I think Trips would scoop him up.
Did he like him that much during the Cruiserweight Classic?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
And he was on loan from New Japan, so that's why he couldn't sign him at the time.
Okay.
But I mean, considering because he probably wants to right the wrongs that happened with Kushida, and right. Kota is a big enough international name where he's on that level that like Asuka and Nakamura are. I could see Trips scooping him up. It just depends on if he wants to transfer to the States, and it depends on how his English is.
Right. Yeah, we'll see. Well, we'll definitely keep an eye on that as things go along. I'll even make a note of it here. Kota. Yeah. Change Kota to Lita. That makes sense. I love autocorrect on the iPhone.
No, don't freeze on me.
What's Please trying to freeze?
Okay, there we go.
Oh, you're talking about your screen. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. All right, let's move on to Impact then. Did you know Victory Road is going to be an Impact Plus show?
I did not catch it.
Yeah, I just happened to be going through the Impact website, and Victory Road is going to be apparently an online-only show on Impact Plus on September 23rd, which is 2 weeks before Bound for Glory up here in Albany.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing Victory Road in Nashville too, which is interesting.
Yeah, I might be looking into that Albany show. I talked to Shell and Carol about it.
We'll come back to the second. First thing though, they are doing an event called Lone Star Stampede Friday and Saturday in Dallas this coming weekend. And
that's an original name.
Yeah, I know. Among the matches being booked for the 2-night event includes, bear with me for a second, Aussie Open in a non-title match against the Machine Guns.
Good
Brothers defending the Impact World titles against Taven and Bennett.
Why the fuck are they still there?
I don't know. Looks like Deanna in a non-title match against Masha Slamovich. Oh, it would be a non-title match because she's the tag champ, not the knockouts champ. Yeah. Deanna against Masha Slamovich.
Meh.
There's a lot of rumor and conjecture that Mickie James, the announcement she's going to make, And this is during the Friday show, by the way. These are all Friday matches that I'm looking at now.
Uh-huh.
They're also teased. There's been a tease that she's going to be announcing her retirement at this show.
I could see it.
Um, so that's the rumor there. And then the only pre-announced match for the Saturday show is the Good Brothers against Motor City Machine Guns. And what's intriguing is that well, it's not really intriguing because you can't really tease it as an Impact tag title match if you don't know what happens the night before.
Right.
But so yeah, I don't know. But that's all that's been announced for the shows. Which is interesting because your shows are 4 fucking days away, and you've announced 4 matches. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's not as
peaks and valleys with Impact. To do something good, 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Right.
You see, Tennille Dashwood is done
gone
with Impact.
Yep. And of course, the rumor is, oh, she's going to go back to WWE. Just because she's dating Madcap Moss, I wouldn't guarantee that. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, if she goes back to the old school Emma character, I'm all for it. I was never big on the heel Emma bullshit, but I loved doofy Emma. I thought that gimmick was money.
The one with Santina Morella, that one.
Even before she was with Santina, when she was just doing it alone and, down at Full Sail, like, that shit was great.
I know. You're right. In the meantime, let me see if there's anything relevant aside from the end of the show from last week's TV. Had Giselle Shaw beat Rosemary on BTI. Sure. Black Taurus won a 4-way. Meh.
Did you see the story from some random indie with Lady Frost and the little girl who couldn't afford the wrestling figure?
Yes, and then Wardlow bought the figure and gave it to her.
Yeah.
I mean, good on Wardlow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Blah, blah, blah. There's really not a whole hell of a lot. They had Heath beat Kenny King. Apparently he's just going to go through Honor No More 1 by 1 is the way it looks.
Yippity-doo.
Anything else, really? So they have Heath win, but then they have Honor No More beat the shit out of Heath afterwards. That makes sense. Sure, that makes sense.
Gee, I wonder who's going to come help Heath.
And now they're going to... Oh, Jesus, Mary Joseph. They actually gave a name to the Motor City Machine Guns and Kushida as a team.
The split engines?
The Time Machine.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
Sure. Killer Kelly beats Savannah Evans because they're pushing Killer Kelly. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica Havoc. I can't fucking make sense of that. Mike Bailey retains the X Division title over Chris Bay. We know that was going to happen.
Yeah. And then Mike Bailey did the job to Moxley over the weekend.
Where was this?
Was it Rev Pro?
Oh, maybe. Okay. All right. So that's really it with that. Because then to end the show, I'll just show the goddamn graphic. Because why the fuck not? This is your main event for Bound for Glory, ladies and gentlemen. Friday, October 7th. I love how they call it the Albany Armory when it's not at all what it's called, but whatever. It's the Washington Avenue Armory, for those of you keeping track here in the 518 in downtown Albany. Josh Alexander will defend the Impact World title against Eddie Edwards. That's your main event for Bound for Glory.
2 amazing workers that can't cut a promo.
I'd put Eddie slightly ahead of Josh, but I
love Eddie to death. I've worked with Eddie since the first day I got into this business. Eddie cannot cut a promo.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'd still give Eddie the slight edge if you're really going to put them 1v1. That's all I'm going to say.
There's a reason Eddie Edwards had Mike Milano as a manager when he first started.
I'm not going to argue. Not gonna argue that one.
I'm gonna wear. I should wear my fucking La Familia shirt to that fucking thing and might watch Eddie pop.
Fair, because it's not gonna be hard to see it because tiny quarters in the Armory,
especially when you're in the handicap spot.
Fair.
Directly behind commentary.
Let me know. Let me know what you end up doing for tickets.
Yeah, like I said, I'm talking to Shell about it because she's like, I let her know, and she was like, "God damn it! October's the first month I'm actually not going anywhere every weekend, and now you spring this on me."
Who said that? Shell.
Shell, because she decided last minute to buy tickets to All Out. So I was like, "Well, we'll talk."
It's not worth the airfare.
I mean, don't look at me. I think she's driving out with Carol.
It's not worth the gas.
Don't look at me, man. I don't know, but at least Albany is a short trip, and I can go get my cheese fries.
Correct. Yes, you can.
That's all I really care about. The fact that I was like, okay, yeah, so it's Eddie in the main.
I want cheese fries.
I want to go to the fucking Gateway Diner.
Shameless plug.
I love that place.
Which, by the way, I didn't even think to mention this before you've mentioned the Gateway Diner on the show. My aunt was a hostess there for like 20 years.
Nice.
So, although she was a hostess on weekend mornings, so odds are you probably never ran into her if you were ever here.
Yeah, no, I was always there like later on in the day.
Figured.
Because we had a friend, like me and my roommate had a mutual friend that lived in Albany, like 3 blocks from there. So.
Oh, nice. All right. So now let's transition before we even get into the big stuff. I got to run through this quick. NWA has their 74th anniversary show this weekend in St. Louis. It's not a show, it's shows. It's a 2-night event because reasons, sure. It's going to be at Chase's Ballroom in St. Louis. Night 1, the notable stuff. They're going to have 4 title matches and a gauntlet match to determine the one contender for the women's title, which would be night 2. So basically, they're going to have whoever wins the women's title match on night 1 is going to be working back-to-back nights.
Okay.
Camille is defending against Taya Valkyrie night 1. The gauntlet match, which is going to be, it's called the Burke Invitational Gauntlet to determine the number 1 contender for the next night.
Mildred Burke. Okay.
That's going to include Samantha Starr, Kylan King, Tootie Lynn, never heard of her, Missa Kate, Max the Impaler, Maddie Rankowski, Angelina Love, Genocide, Natalia Markova, and Taryn Terrell.
Max the Impaler could be the dark horse in that.
I agree. The other 3 title matches booked for night 1. Homicide defended the World Junior Heavyweight title against Kerry Morton. Jax Dane defending the National Heavyweight title against Scion. And tag titles, the Commonwealth Connection, Doug Williams and Harry Smith defending against, I believe, the former champs, if I remember correctly, La Rebellion.
Yes.
Plus a tables match will be on night 1. Would you like to guess who one of the contestants is in that match?
Matt Cardona.
No.
Oh.
Who's the real shill for tables in his career?
Bubba Ray Dudley.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
He's facing Mike Knox in a tables match.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Cardona is slated to wrestle night 1, but he doesn't have an opponent officially named.
Of course not.
EC3 is on the show.
Ugh.
The Pope is on the show against Rodney Mack in a singles match. And then a Beelzebub's Bedlam match.
Beelzebub's Bedlam. Let me guess. Jim Mitchell's managing someone.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. The Miserably Faithful against the Ill-Begotten.
Gotcha.
I whatever.
Yeah. No, Mitchell's got his little, like, he's got his little, like, stable of misfits right now. Dude, there was some dude bitching and whining on Mitchell's Facebook page like 2 weeks ago. It was hilarious because one of the characters in it is named Gimp. because he's done up in the leather hood and stuff. Like,
Ags the Gimp. Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
yeah. And this dude's like, as a disabled person, that's a slur, blah, 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 and everything. And he was just like, dude, it's named after the character in Pulp Fiction. What do you want from me? And he's like, it's just like using the N-word. And I popped in and I was like, you do not speak for all disabled people. You can shut the hell up. And he's like, what the hell do you know? So I took a picture of me holding my leg.
That's a good way to shut somebody up. Yeah.
I was just like, as I said, you do not speak for all disabled people. You can shut the hell up.
Night 2. Let's see. Trevor Murdoch defending the world's heavyweight title against Tyrus.
Oh,
Yeah. And then I already mentioned the women's title match. It's going to be the winner Camille and Taya Valkyrie against the winner of that gauntlet match. The women's tag titles, pretty empowered, defending against the team they took the belts off of, the Hex, Allison Kay and Marty Bell. The MLW National Openweight title will be defended. Davey Richards defending against Thrill Billy Silas Mason.
They should have never taken that belt off of Alex Kane. It was too early.
Yeah. Then they got Tom Latimer booked on the in a singles match. Colby Carino against Caprice Coleman in a singles match.
Okay.
Nick Aldis against Flip Gordon in a singles match. And then they are going to have a tag team battle royal for the new United States Tag Team Championships. Well, not new, but
you know reinstated.
Thank you. That's going to include, stop me if you haven't heard of any of these teams, and I'll tell you who's in them. Gold Rush. Jordan Clearwater and Marsh Rocket.
Okay.
The Miserably Faithful.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be Sal the Pal and Gags the Gimp.
Mm-hmm.
The Now.
Okay.
The Ill Begotten. That's going to be Alex Taylor and Jeremiah Plunkett representing them.
Yep.
Rough and Ready.
Who?
Devin, Graves, and Deontay.
Bruh.
I don't know. The Fixers.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Ball Legursky and Jay Bradley.
Ugh.
Luke Hawks and PJ Hawks.
Okay.
The Country Gentlemen, which are AJ Kazana and Anthony Andrews.
I'm sorry, I hear that name, and I'm thinking Chuck Taylor's supposed to be in there.
Yeah, I know. Team Ambition, which is Mike Outlaw and Camaro Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally the Spectaculars, Brady Pierce and Rush Freeman.
Okay.
So that's going to be, again, a tag team battle royal for the reinstated United States tag team titles. And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, how did... Interesting. So to me, it looks like... Oh, okay. So here's what I need... Here's what doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay.
So, you know how they were doing the Race to the Chase tournament?
Yes.
On NWA Power?
Yes.
So Aldis won that tournament. But they're replacing him with Tyrus for the title match that he earned.
Is he injured?
Well, he's booked on night 1. He's booked on night 2 against Flip. I don't get it either. That's why I'm confused.
Billy Corgan is not a good booker.
Billy! I give up. I give
Billy Corgan is not a good booker, and any basement goblin that thinks that the NWA still has a board of directors that decide shit is an idiot.
I don't know. I don't know. All right, so let's move on to AEW Ring of Honor. Get your notes ready. Get your notes ready.
Oh, I'm ready. I'd like to structure this a little bit though.
Okay.
because I know there's a lot we have to cover.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start off on Dynamite, but skip the first segment.
Okay.
Because there's gonna be a lot encased in that, and I want to circle back to it. So let's skip that opening salvo and go right to the next segment in it.
That's fine. We can do that. Okay. So skipping seg 1. Hobbs backstage with Tony. Sure, whatever. He's talking shit about Ricky, whatever. Then I have fuck Judas as my next note.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings us to them taking what I thought was the obvious main event, considering the theme of the fucking show, and saying, you know what? No, we're going to make that our Seg 2 match with Danielson and Garcia.
We're going to make it our curtain jerker, basically. And dude, you know something?
Mm-hmm.
Side note. I didn't even realize it until last night. I was watching the opening monologue on Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget the dude's name, but because Kimmel is off during the summer, so he has people guest hosted every week.
Mm-hmm.
The dude was talking about the new Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, anybody watching? He's like, I haven't. And he said something that just resonated so much as to why they really pushed this House of the Dragon bullshit on Dynamite. He said, they're really pushing this House of the Dragon thing because he's like, I didn't watch it because I'm not in their demographic, which is men 18 to 49 who have never touched a titty. And I wouldn't, it makes so much sense now.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Sure. All right. Before I get knee deep into detail about this match with Danielson and Garcia, I have to ask a very general question.
Sure.
Considering, and this match is a perfect example of why I'm asking this question.
Mm-hmm.
How much longer is Bryan Danielson really going to put himself through this shit?
I am honestly afraid for him.
And I'm not saying that from a fuck Bryan Danielson perspective. I'm saying this from a you need to be able to see your kids get old.
Right. He needs to stop putting himself in this type of situation. If he was still in WWE, he would not be in these situations.
No, because they don't do half the shit being done in these matches unless it's like a pay-per-view blow-off match.
Right.
It's not being done every single fucking week.
And everyone works safe for the most part.
That too. I don't know. There's this innate fear in me with Bryan, and
it's hard to watch. It really is. It's like that feeling everyone got watching Ric Flair's retirement match because you're like, this dude's gonna die.
Right.
But it's every week.
It shocks me that Brie hasn't stepped in at some point and tried talking to him about it. Or if she has, like, how much is he fighting back against her on this?
And sadly, it's because of the insane amount of money that's been thrown at him. And the fact that he thinks he's doing good and he thinks that he's helping build the next generation because this is how he started. And he's looking at everything with rose-colored glasses. And dude, take off the rose-colored glasses. It's not what you think it is.
Right. So stop me if this makes sense. Garcia puts Bryan Danielson to sleep for the first fall.
Yeah. Just complete knockout in 5 minutes in a sleeper. And then Danielson's up 10 seconds later. Makes zero sense. The very, 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 very least thing they could have done in that situation, if they were so adamant about sticking with the whole pass out on the first fall bullshit, which I'm sorry, there's no reason for it. There's no good reason for it.
Agreed.
if you're going to have him pass out, have Garcia release the hold, have Garcia go to a corner, and have the ref see if Danielson can't answer a 10 count. Because it makes, and like I said, it makes no sense any way you fucking slice it. But at least in that case, there's separation and there's a gap. It's not, I'm knocked out, I'm awake. Makes no sense. None whatsoever. Like, you can't, it's one of those, who booked this shit? How the hell do you have a guy pass out on the first fall of a 2 out of 3 falls match? How?
Not hearing any argument for me. Danielson wins the second fall. I honestly don't remember how the fuck he won the second fall.
Oh, hold on.
Something tells me it was like a roll-up of some shit. I don't remember. Or like a special... It was some... I want to say it was some kind of special pinfall maneuver. I can't remember off the top of my head. While you're looking that up, though.
It was. And then, it was like a roll-up. And then for the third fall, it turned into video game steal a finisher mode.
Right. And of course there had to be bleeding. Because God forbid.
Of course.
And then eventually Danielson put Garcia to sleep for the win. Then we have Jericho jumping Danielson before him and Garcia have any kind of handshake.
Mm-hmm.
Then Garcia pulls Jericho off of Danielson, and Jericho's like, "What the fuck?" And now apparently, just to kind of jump ahead to, because I think Jericho has like an interview or some shit later on in the show.
Yeah.
Just to kind of skip ahead a little bit, Jericho eventually has his backstage interview and is like, he wants to talk to Garcia this week on Dynamite.
Yeah, so it's the exact rehash of the bullshit that happened when the fucking Pinnacle split. What, a few months ago? When they all had the meeting in the ring and Sammy Guevara said, "I'm done for right now," and Santana Ortiz were like, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, you mean the Inner Circle?
Sorry, the Inner Circle. Yeah, not the Pinnacle. My bad. Yeah, it's the exact same thing. It's the confrontation in the ring bullshit. Jericho has no new ideas. He keeps rehashing the same storyline he's been doing for the past 2.5 years, which is glom onto the young talent that he thinks is going to get him over and drain them dry and then leave them. I mean, look at it. Look at the beginning of that fucking match. Jericho has to come out to his entrance music for a full 2.5 minutes before going to sit down on commentary.
Yep.
And then have Garcia come out.
Right.
What did that do for Garcia? Nothing. It buried the kid. And I'm not. I don't even like Daniel Garcia. But seriously,
I will say this though, to be slightly contrarian to your point. I don't understand the whole leeching on to Parker Menard thing. I think that part of it is more. Let's just throw a bone to these guys because they happen to be former NXT guys.
It's throw a bone because they're friends with the Bucks, because they're the Great Value Bucks.
Menard and Parker are friends with the Bucks.
Yeah.
Oh fuck me.
They're friends with the Bucks, and they're friends with because they're friends with the Bucks, and they're friends with KO, because KO was the one that got them into NXT.
Fuck me.
They were PWG guys.
Menard and Parker were PWG guys?
Briefly.
Oh, Jesus. Didn't deserve it. Anyways, so in Swerve in Our Glory and Private Party, they're backstage with Tony, previewing their match for Friday night for the tag titles.
Because now the rankings matter.
But they're only number 5, so how would it
But
matter?
they're in the top 5, so therefore they are allowed a shot.
We're gonna get back to the rankings, so let's hold on. Then we have Nice and Sterling come out. They get jumped by Mox, the top of the stage. And then he calls out Punk, who answers, but he's followed by security to keep them separated. Claudio and Yuta also come out to keep Mox away from Punk.
Claudio carried Mox like a child.
Yeah, because Claudio's fucking ridiculous.
Cockstrong.
Then we get to that Jericho, Menard, and Parker backstage thing I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
and then Steamboat interrupts, and eventually, who did he hit? Was it
Jericho.
Parker? I think.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah,
I think it was Parker he hit.
because let's rehash something that happened in WWE a decade ago.
Right, which was mentioned, by the way, by Jericho.
Yep, of course.
Both on commentary and in the segment.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get Gunk. Fuck. Why don't they just fire Pillman and Griff at this point? Like, just fucking get it.
Gotta bury him. Gotta keep burying him. Gotta bury him so that way when they do become free agents and when Pillman is a free agent, like there's going to be no stock for him for Triple H.
So Gun Club beats the Varsity Blondes in less than a minute.
Yep.
Billy seems to make good with them, but then Stokely arrives and starts walking down the rampway, and as he's doing that, Billy gets jumped by his sons, who then get chased off by the Acclaimed, and scissor me, daddy ass!
Because we've got to have a heel turn on every show now.
Right. So Billy's back with the Acclaimed, it looks like.
Yay.
Then we get a pre-tape with Lethal Sanjay and
Zippy the Giant Pinhead
challenging Wardlow and FTR to a trios match at All Out.
Oh, God, that's going to be so bad. I see Dash Wilder injuring himself trying to do something with fucking Satnam Singh in that match.
How
That's
about
what
just
I see
injuring
happening.
himself for the sake of getting out of the match? How about that? Then we have a Death Triangle promo for their trios quarterfinal match against House of Black.
The House of Black.
By the way, how demeaning is it that they've actually labeled these quarterfinal matches as Dynamite They've actually, no, to me, they labeled them as Dynamite semifinal matches and Rampage semifinal matches. Yeah. That really puts a lot of faith in the guys you're having wrestle their matches on Rampage. Yeah, let's just out them as, well, these are our main Rampage guys.
Well, no, it's so that way people will watch Rampage. Because Tony Khan has this thing where if he thinks he thinks if he keeps like putting special shit on Rampage, that people will watch it. No one's watching it.
Right. Then we get Jungle Boy and Christian promo segment. We all know where that's leading to.
Jungle Boy is still going to look like the biggest idiot in the world when Luchasaurus turns on him at the pay-per-view.
Then we get Wardlow and FTR and backstage accepting the challenge for the trios match at All Out.
So you got so let's back this up. So you're gonna take the team that has 3 different tag titles on them at the same time, and your secondary champion, and neither of them are going to defend any of those 4 titles on your pay-per-view.
Yeah,
because that makes sense.
Yeah,
especially when it's like All Out is supposed to be like your WrestleMania.
Yeah. What part of that do you not understand?
So there's 4, and so that's 5 titles that aren't going to be defended at that we know of, because we'll get to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we get Tony Storm beating Kylan King. They show cuts of Thunder Rosa backstage watching because
Tony Storm using a DDT as a setup for a DDT as a finish.
Yeah. Really got to work the neck. Got to work the body part.
I am telling you, the only reason Tony Storm is there is that they don't do wellness checks. She is on something.
And her OnlyFans.
Well, that too, but still.
Then the worst kept secret of all time is true, as Kenny Omega returns.
Dude.
So I had 2 thoughts immediately once he came out. Number 1, fuck Don Callis, get off my TV.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, thanks for coming, La Faction and Gobernable. You're clearly not winning this match.
Okay, so let's back this train up a little bit. So we've got, and like I mentioned last week, they just had Roosh kick the shit out of Dragon Lee at the ROH show, but now he's back in Ingobernables because they're brothers.
Right.
He's a babyface. The other 2 are heels.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. They're all together because Mexico.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So then we get the segment. We get the secret that wasn't a secret at all. We get here comes finger fuck. Where and okay, I hate to break this to people. That wasn't a compression shirt. That wasn't for his injuries. Kenny Omega was wearing male Spanx and a fake fucking muscle shirt over it. Like the shit that they have the guys wear in the Marvel movies to make them look jacked. You know why? Because Kenny got fat. Because, and I don't give a fuck who wants to debate me on this. I've said it before and I will say it again. Kenny Omega has not been injured for the past 9 months. Kenny sat home collecting a check because he didn't want to work, because he wanted to sit home and play fucking video games and drink fucking Game Fuel and eat Cheetos. I firmly do not believe Kenny Omega had any threatening injuries nor any major surgeries. Because all we heard was, oh, I've got a surgery. Oh, I've got a surgery. You never heard a single detail on what was getting worked on. Oh, I have 3 to 4 rehabs a day. No, you fucking don't. As someone who has a visiting nurse come for physical therapy, there is no possible way that you had X amount of surgeries and we're having 3 to 4 rehabs a day, and you come back looking like that. Go and watch. I think it's still on Peacock. You watch the 24 on Finn Balor when he had to do the recovery shit after he got hurt after the Universal title, and they showed all the rehab he went through. That's what that looks like. And that's why Finn Balor looked like a fucking Adonis when he came back. Kenny Omega got fat. Kenny Omega got lazy. Than he already is. Fuck Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega hurts a 9-year-old girl at ringside. You saw that? But they did the fucking dive spot. And there's a little girl sitting there in the front row.
Oh, right. Yeah, I mean, since you're focusing on Kenny, let me go to my notes real quick about Kenny. Yeah, see, I was of the opinion that he looked rushed back, because there were moments where I feel like the shoulder is not 100% still yet.
He looked rushed back because he's done nothing to keep himself in shape in the past 9 months. He was blown up.
Well, it's not just that. I'm not fully convinced his shoulder's 100% still.
I'm not fully convinced it was ever injured.
But you also gotta look at, like, he was barely able to even get Dragon Lee up correctly for that one-wing angel at the end of the match.
Yeah, because he's out of shape and blown up. And as it was, plus it's also because he legit knocked Dragon Lee out with one of those V-trigger knees. So Dragon Lee was just dead fucking weight.
I didn't even think about that. That's true.
He legit knocked him out because he's unsafe.
So yeah, they win.
But
then we get to the clusterfuck of the last 60 seconds of this broadcast.
Because they don't know how to structure for TV.
So, as eventually seems to be revealed on Rampage.
Oh, they did? I didn't watch Rampage, but
So, on Rampage, they show the entirety of what actually happened, or what was happening as Rampage was going off the air.
Oh, by the way, did you notice that Dragon Lee's shoulder was up on the 1 count for the finish?
Yes.
Yeah.
But again, if he was knocked out, that might just been instinctual.
Exactly. That's what it was.
So I'm of the opinion that the clusterfuck of that final 60 seconds wasn't supposed to be a clusterfuck. I think The opinion I have is Andrade and Roosh didn't realize they were still live, pal. Because I think that was supposed to be a completely off-air thing that they did.
No, I think it was supposed to happen. I think because
Or
because
they
you
ran
saw
out of time and
they
completely
ran out of
fucked it
time.
up.
Yeah, they ran out of time because you saw Kenny and the Bucks powder so that they could have that spot. But obviously, because 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag, and we don't know what we're doing, and prior to this, Dragon Lee was a baby face. Roosh and Andrade weren't. So of course, Dragon Lee takes the pin. So that means, we've got to do something to show that we're heels and he's not. So let's yank his mask off.
But the problem I have is that if that's really what they were supposed to be doing to end the show, why is the truck constantly doing cutbacks to the Elite during that ending?
Because they don't
Why
have
aren't you just doing a hard?
because they don't have a good
You
executive
should be doing a
producer and know where
hard
the
cam
cameras go.
shot on the. That's fine, but you should be doing a hard shot on the ring the entire time if that's how you're trying to end the show. That was the part that made me think maybe it was supposed to be for the dark post show.
No, I think that was
how
just
fucking stupid the camera shots were.
I think it was just because Tony was there and he's like, keep it on Kenny. We got to make sure we got to drill home that Kenny's back. Because that was the thing, was they were like the crowd was fucking dead during that match. Like at the beginning, like you heard a smattering of idiots going, you still got it. I'm like, dude, the dude wasn't even gone for a year. And then like the crowd was dead where Kenny was like, I can't hear you. Blah, blah. It's like, no one fucking cares, dude. You left as a heel. You came back fat. No one cares. And then that god awful, like incomparable promo that he cut after Dynamite went off the air.
I'm gonna show that in a second. But the main thing I want to bring up, because you just mentioned the whole crowd dead thing. Hang the fuck on, because I know you sent me something. Yes, here it is. So you sent me the quarter hours from Dynamite.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, it wasn't just the in-house crowd that went down. So the audience for Dynamite during that final quarter hour of the show went down almost 10% during Kenny's comeback match.
Yep. The show overall from beginning to end lost 200,000 viewers. That's a huge fucking drop.
Oui, senor. As far as the Kenny post-show promo, here, I'll put it up here on the screen for the YouTube audience to see. Let me read the quote for those of you on the audio-only side. Quote, the Elite is not pretending to be somebody that we're not. We're not a tribute act. We're not a parody. I'll keep going.
As we crotch chop and do the too sweet.
Oh, what's in the next sentence? We're not selfish. We're not in this for selfish means or for selfish gains. We are here to leave a legacy, and that legacy is in titles. It's not even match ratings. It's not even how much money we make for our families and ourselves. It's changing the wrestling world and the way you guys consume it.
But you don't even have the best part of that whole promo in that. The part where he compared the fans to a cat that shits and pisses all over the house. Please tell me you saw that part.
I don't even want to know. I know.
He said because he's like the fans, whether they cheer us or boo us, he was just like you're just like a cat that pees and poops all over the house. But at the end of the day, how can I be mad at a little kitty cat?
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So, do I go through Rampage quick, or do you want to rewind back to the start of the show?
Go through Rampage, and then we'll rewind back to where everything needs to go.
Rampage. Claudio and Yuta start out in the ring. Claudio issues open challenge for the following week for his Ring of Honor title. Do you want to know who answered the challenge for Rampage this Friday?
Dustin Rhodes.
Thank you.
Because rankings matter.
Well, it's Ring of Honor, so technically they don't have rankings.
It doesn't matter.
Then we get Ortiz and Ruby Soho backstage challenging Sammy and Ty for the AAA Mixed Tag Team titles. Oh. Then we get Swerve and Our Glory retaining the AEW tag titles over a Private Party.
You don't say.
Keith Lee shook hands with them after the match. Swerve did not. Read into that what you want. Then we get the factory backstage with Lexi. Hobbs interrupts. Says what the fuck, basically. QT says his word is his bond. Suck a dick. Whatever. Then they had Mark Clayton job out to Hook in 15 seconds.
Good. I mean, not good. I mean, I don't care because I hate both of these people. But at least didn't take more than 30 seconds.
It's just a waste.
Terrible, and more terrible.
This gets better. Then we get Menard and Parker with a backstage pre-tape about Hook. Apparently they want to go after the FTW title. I got nothing.
We're in that span of like every few months where the FTW title matters for 5 minutes.
Then we get Billy Gunn backstage, interviewed by Lexi, talking about his sons, whatever. Then Buddy Matthews squashes Serpentico.
Gee!
Miro returns on Rampage.
Oh boy, your stock has risen.
And he lays waste to Buddy Matthews, asking while he's being Buddy Nice, like, where are the rest of your pagans?
Not cool, bro.
Yeah, I know. Then we get Britt and Jamie Hayter and Rebel backstage talking about Thunderstorm. Sure, whatever.
Because Tony's going to introduce women's tag belts in the next 2 months. Watch.
Then we get Athena beating Penelope Ford, who is returning.
Yay!
Athena gets jumped after the match by Layla Gray and Kira Hogan.
Yay!
Jade Cargill comes out with a sledgehammer and smashes up Athena's metal wings thing that she uses for her entrance, and then uses the sledgehammer on Athena in the ring. No.
It's just...
no.
Ugh. I know. I saw enough pictures over the weekend of people comparing Jade to Triple H, and I went, no.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. Tons of pictures of Jade with the sledgehammer and Triple H with a sledgehammer.
Coincidence.
There is no comparison. Yeah, no, it's called ripping off someone.
Then they officially announced the casino ladder match.
Because let's have a fucking multi-man ladder match as the pre-show.
Keep going, though.
And make it for the fucking world title.
Keep going.
What
did I tell you we were going to get back to?
The fact that we don't have a world title match on the fucking...
But rankings matter, man.
Oh, yeah, rankings matter, yeah.
And then they end the night with Best Friends and Orange Cassidy beating the Trustbusters in the Rampage semifinal for the Trios tournament. And by the way, Sunny Kiss not wrestling. She was the manager.
It's fucking bullshit.
So it was Davari, Slim J, or whatever the fuck his name is, and Fatty Brock.
Garbage Pail Kid.
Just fucking...
We all know the fucking finals of this freaking trios thing is going to be the fucking elite against the Best Friends.
So I got to throw this out there real quick before we get into the opening segment from Dynamite last week.
Mm-hmm.
It's just to provide the cherry on top for that main event from Rampage. Could someone explain to me what the fuck anybody saw in this Parker Boudreaux kid? Because I don't fucking get it.
He looks like Brock.
Who cares?
Because of the fact that WWE signed him because he looked like Brock.
Yay, he looks like somebody. Who cares?
And he was supposed to be the next fucking Brock, and then obviously he's shown that he can't. But the moment they released him, Tony Khan went, well, then I'm going to turn him into the next Brock. Because Tony Khan's a fucking idiot.
Just fucking dumb. Just
there's a reason a trainee gets released within the first couple of months. Same thing with Cole Carter.
Yeah.
Like, and now like they're trying to make Cole Carter into a thing. Fucking guess who's advertising Cole Carter for their fucking shows coming up in Connecticut and New York as their big draw.
AEW.
No.
Oh no.
Coming to the arena in Bethany.
No.
Cole Carter, baby.
You're kidding me.
The big draw.
Get the fuck out of here. No.
Nope.
No. 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 I gotta fucking see this. Hold on. You gotta be fucking kidding me. That's no.
Give me one second.
Can't.
Give me 1 second. I will send this to you right now.
I'm pulling up their Facebook page. I want to see. I need to fucking see this. No, please, no. This can't be real.
Oh God, it's even funnier when you see the name of the show. Hold on, here. Hold
oh my
here.
God, yeah, I see him on the poster for Wrestling Under the Stars. And
oh no. There's another one. I just sent it to you.
That's a good way to like. Oh man, I can't. I really fucking can't. Like, who books this shit?
Mike O'Brien.
I'm well aware. It was a rhetorical question.
The show with no name.
That's real fucking wow.
That is the second worst name for a show that I've ever seen.
Well, I want to know what the first was.
The worst one was a 2CW show about 7 years ago. The show was called We Booked This Date because it was the only one that the Young Bucks were available.
Oh, yeah. That was one of their last shows in their initial run, yeah.
And they wonder why they went out of business.
Yeah, that was funny. All right.
So before we do, I just want to preface this entire next section with one phrase. Because it's good. Because I'm going to have to go back to it a bunch of times. So I just want to put it out there right away.
Can I guess what your phrase is?
Sure.
Fuck Phil Brooks.
Well, that's an obvious, but no. This encompasses a whole lot of what we're going to talk about here. Multiple wrongs do not make a right.
That's fair. That's fair too. All right. So I was a little weirded out by the fact that JR was at the announce table to start the show.
Yeah.
Because I've always been bringing him out for hour 2. But then I heard the music that hit after the opening pyro, and I was like, oh, that's why he's out there.
Mm-hmm.
So Punk's music hits, and he comes out cutting promo. But he decides to start the promo with calling out someone that's not even booked to be part of this segment.
It was not even there.
You sure he wasn't there? Because they did a BTE thing where he was there.
Oh, okay.
Because he, because they recorded BTE, being the Elite, by the way.
Yeah.
Sorry. They recorded part of it in the arena for that night. And one of the bits was Hangman was trying to motivate the Dark Order for the Trios tournament. And then they had a random ass dude from the arena staff saying, hey, Punk is calling you out in the ring. And Hangman was like, fuck off, I'm doing this. It was
but are we sure that happened at that arena, or are we or that it wasn't taped?
Unless they knew that was happening ahead of time and they decided to pre-tape it in the arena.
Well, no, because BTE always comes out a couple of days after Dynamite. So what I'm saying is they could have very well filmed that after Dynamite already aired.
Maybe. I don't fucking know. Either way around it. So basically the promo starts with Punk deciding to call out Hangman, who's not even part of the fucking segment.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, Hangman's not going to go out and fuck up TV for the night right away. So he's basically calling out a guy that has no way of being able to come out.
He's
And
going
you're
into
just
business for himself.
yeah, you're making him look like a douche on purpose for no fucking reason. Now, people are probably wondering why, because basically, what's the specific quote he used? There
See,
was a very specific quote he said.
yeah, it was from so apparently so it's one of two things or both things. It's either this interview that Paige did for a podcast the week before, or it's alluding to something Paige said in one of their in-ring promos right before their title match back in May.
Which I have. So, I know it's a little. Oh God, that email was loud. Anyways, um, so during one of the promos that Punk and Page had with each other, one of the promo segments. I know the text's a little fuzzy, but I think it's kind of clear enough for the YouTube audience to see. I'll read it aloud for the audio side to hear. So this is one of the quotes from Hangman during one of those promos. Quote, I don't think fighting your hatred, your pettiness, your cowardice with more of the same. I don't think it's the right thing to do, but I will tell you face to face, man to man, how I feel about you. I don't hate you. I almost pity you. And I have no respect for you and what you've done since you've gotten here. You want this AEW World Championship. I don't think you understand what it means to be a champion. After all these years, I don't think you get it because it's not just about what happens in this ring. It's about when that red light turns off. What happens when you go back through the curtain. Those small, quiet moments when you think no one's watching. That's what makes a champion. You talk a big game about workers' rights. Yeah, well, you've shown the exact opposite since you've gotten here. I love this place. I care about this place. This is my home. And at Double or Nothing, I will not defend the AEW World Championship against you. I'll be defending All Elite Wrestling from you. That's the quote.
Right. And supposedly, months later, we find out that was Paige, quote unquote, going into business for himself. Because at the time, like, people were kind of confused as what are we turning Paige heel last minute? Right. And then Punk's response to that was just like, I don't know what your problem is, yada, 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 because Punk was thrown off guard because he didn't know what the fuck was happening. So let's start there. Let's unpack going back to that. Number one, this is what happens when you let people just go out and cut whatever fucking promo they want without running it by the booker. Because as much as people want to talk about creative freedom and who has it and who does it and yada, yada, this is prime proof that this happened months ago. And we're just finding out now that that wasn't part of what was supposed to be said. And apparently after this all happened, fucking Coke Moranis had to have a sit down in the back with just Punk and Paige to hash things out, where Punk fucking went into business for himself during the meeting and said, I will never do the job for you. Which, hindsight being 2020, really sounds like CM Punk. Because here's the problem, and I will go into this by saying that I have never been a fan of Adam Page, that I've never seen what people see in him, but also I used to be a huge CM Punk fan until the moment he showed up in AEW, at which point he became the fakest son of a bitch on the planet and has said that, oh, I came back for the sport and blah, blah. No, you came back for a truckload of fucking money. And everyone fucking knows it because you sat there and you messaged WWE right before they freaking signed you to see if they would match the offer. And Vince said, go fuck yourself. And this goes back to when Punk was released from WWE 8 years ago, which, by the way, Basement Goblins, Punk was released. Did he take his ball and go home? Yes, but he didn't quit. They FedExed him his release. They fired him. Now, was WWE dicks for doing it on his wedding day? Yeah, sure. Fine. We all know that. But here it is years later, and we're finding out that, gee, maybe WWE had some reasoning. And yeah, Punk was, okay, so Punk was frustrated because of like the whole Z-Pack thing and all that shit. But apparently Punk was a fucking problem child in WWE. And the longer shit goes on, the more it comes out. So then here's Adam Page thinking he's being the knight in shining armor defending the company that he helped start. And he tells Punk what's what. And the reason is because in the year and a half, 2 years prior to Punk showing up in AEW, one of the people that Page actually talked to a lot was Colt Cabana. I've always liked Colt. I always thought he was a good dude.
Apparently
good
him
mechanic.
being off TV is another reason that's caused a lot of
exactly.
stress.
Because Colt Cabana, for the most part, he was on Dynamite every week until Punk showed up. I mean, shit never made sense with him being part of the Dark Order when they were heels. And none of it ever made any fucking sense. But at least Colt Cabana was there. And Colt, Colt can help people with promos at times. He's a funny dude. Like I said, he's a solid hand in the ring. I've never seen Colt as a main event draw, but Colt's always been a decent dude. And it always seemed odd to me the fact that years ago Punk and Colt were the best of friends, and then Punk is they have lawsuits against each other for defamation of character. Like, that's something that just it never set right. It never made sense. But then here comes Punk into AEW, and in the past year, because it's officially been a year since Punk showed up in AEW, Colt Cabana was on TV, once to do the job to Danielson?
Yeah.
That's about it. Mm-hmm. And so Adam Page wanted to stick up for Colt Cabana, which you need to pick and choose your battles, obviously. But there's something very sour about the whole situation. And there's a rift when it comes to who's on Punk's side and who's on Cabana's side. Side note, because the whole thing was like, Cabana wasn't going to get re-signed, and then Tony signed him to Ring of Honor instead, which means nothing because Ring of Honor has no TV product. However, I think, I forget where I was reading, but I think I realized what that means. I think when you see that Tony Khan has signed people to Ring of Honor versus them being all elite, I'm almost positive what that means is that they are signed to Ring of Honor on a per diem deal. Which is why you see people like Jonathan Gresham who are wholeheartedly pissed off that they're supposed to be under contract, but they're only getting paid per date. And ROH has no dates. That's like being on MLW, that's like being contracted to MLW and making $150 a month. Like, what the fuck's the point?
I don't
know. So as far as that portion right there, guess what? Both guys are in the wrong, and multiple wrongs don't make a right. It makes no sense to rehash this shit months later because you want to throw a fucking temper tantrum in the middle of the ring on this show. It makes no sense.
Just Punk doing Punk. I mean, that's all.
Exactly.
That's all it's ever been for. It's all it's been since he left WWE, honestly. Not to even say it's all it's ever been for a while, towards the back end of his time in WWE to begin with.
Right. And the weird thing is, like, when I first got in the business, like, I met Punk on a few occasions, and he always seemed cordial. And the thing was, you would always hear two sides of a story. You would hear people say that Punk is the greatest guy in the world and will go to bat for you. And then there's other guys who I know who would completely just up and down say he's the biggest piece of shit in the world. He's a two-faced piece of shit. Like, he will fuck you over the moment he gets. He's got a giant fucking ego. And I was always like, I never saw that. But years come out, more and more people. Like, I specifically remember a long conversation I had with Dave Padula one day where Dave just went off about how much of a fucking asshole Punk is. And this was back in 06.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, like fucking ridiculous. And that just goes to prove it as to the next part of Punk's promo.
Which is where he's basically shitting on Mox. And then Mox comes out and says his own piece, and then they brawl all that.
Right. And here's the thing. Do we not recall the day
basically
like
Punk shit on Mox?
He shit on Eddie Kingston. DC, but so let's go back to the night Punk won the title. Do we not recall the media scrum where they asked Punk who he'd want to work with, and the first person he said he wanted to work with more than anyone was Jon Moxley?
Mm-hmm.
But now all of a sudden Moxley's a piece of shit. Now all of a sudden Moxley's the third best guy in his group and the second best John that he's going to beat in Chicago and all this shit. And just like, and here's the problem with quote unquote creative freedom in your fucking promos. Punk literally in a 10-minute segment buried the last guy to hold the title, buried Eddie Kingston, who is the, you know, whether you like him or not, is definitely like the fans' underdog there. Buried the guy who's, for whether you like it or not, has been carrying the torch of the company for the past 3 months while Punk has been sitting at home nursing a stubbed toe.
Mm-hmm.
Just burial. Like, why would anyone want to see this match now? All you've done is talk mad shit about the people who are at the top of the food chain in this company that you work for. And dude, that whole freaking you can be the heart and soul, I'll be the dollars and cents. Give me a fucking break. If anything ever showed that Punk was only there for the money, it was that line.
Basically, yeah. Everything about that whole big segment just irked me the wrong way.
Yeah, like some people like, because like the smart fans and the people in the news like, oh, this is great. Oh, yeah. But then you go back and look at it and it did nothing for business. Nothing whatsoever.
Nope. So this is where things get weird.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of the night, they announced the Moxley and Punk unification match on free fucking TV this coming Wednesday on Dynamite. But it gets better. Now, I don't know how much I'm going to trust the various podcasters and journalists who have been saying this in the last few days. But Moxley versus Punk is also still currently planned as a main event for All Out. So, in other words, you're putting them on free TV for shits and giggles.
To pop the rating.
Right. And then the real match is going to be on Sunday the 4th's pay-per-view.
Uh-huh.
Actually, no. That'll be Sunday the... Is it the 4th?
Yeah, Sunday the 4th.
Is it 4th?
Okay. The 4th.
Yeah, because next Wednesday is the 31st. That's right. What's the point?
Forest for the trees. It's Tony Khan trying to pop a rating, and the thing is, it's Tony Khan trying to let the internet book his shows for him because he doesn't know what the fuck to do. Because what happens the moment something like this happens, he goes on and he reads Twitter and he sees what all the basement goblins are going to book for him. And so it's because everyone's like, oh, it's gonna end in a schmaz, and they're gonna add Hangman Page, and it's gonna be a 3-way, or oh, they're gonna unify, and MJF's gonna come out, so then MJF's gonna get a title match on Sunday. It's like, guess what? No matter how you slice this, you have shot yourself in the fucking foot because you haven't done, like, all you're doing is making your pay-per-view worth less, and doesn't matter what you do, you're going to take an angle and hot shot it a week before the damn pay-per-view. And honestly, the reason I think he's doing this, besides popping a rating, is because there's still 2,000 plus seats available in Cleveland, and he wants to sell that arena because he's already sold all the tickets he can for All Out, or at least sold it to the resellers.
Mm-hmm.
But no one's buying tickets to Dynamite. Every fucking Dynamite, you see the arena is a third fucking full. So he's trying to pack that arena. So he's just giving this away to try to get people to fucking go to Cleveland. Because plus it's Mox's hometown. But Mox hasn't lived in Cleveland in God knows how long.
I thought they just moved back there from Vegas.
Oh, did they? I don't know.
Yeah, sometime this year, they packed up and moved out of Vegas back to Ohio. I think it was Cleveland too.
All right. But yeah, but it's to sell tickets because the arena is fucking up, and you know something, the arena's still going to be 2/3 empty. I guarantee it. Because it's because when you're catering to a niche market and the niche market's not watching your product, they're not going to know to buy tickets to your show.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to, it's like, there's a title match on Dynamite. That's nice. There's been a title match on Dynamite every week for the past fucking 3 months.
By the way, quick thought on the MJF thing. If he shows up at all, it's going to be at the end of All Out. It's not going to be on free TV.
You would think. But then again, like, we don't know what's going on with that, because if it's Warner Discovery that said pull all of your fucking shit regarding MJF, they're not just going to let him come back. They're not going to let him come back. But like, if this was some grand scheme of Tony's to try to get some big, like, why are you going to get a big pop on a heel? Like, MJF's still a fucking heel. MJF is a natural heel. Plus, like, he's cooled off. You had him cut the "you fucking Mark" promo and then yanked him off TV and haven't mentioned him since. No one's going to care when he comes back. Like, your niche market's going to, obviously, but you need to get past the niche market. And that's something that he just doesn't fucking understand.
Well, to work on a transition into WWE, I'm going to leave you with this note. Apparently, AEW wrestlers are going to be booked in various parts of Wrestle Kingdom this coming January.
Yep, heard about that. Which means FTR is going to be there to drop the fucking tag belts.
My guess, Moxley gets booked because Moxley's relationship.
Right.
Archer, I wouldn't even count Archer at this point because he was New Japan before he was ever AEW.
Right. And they'll probably and they're going to do Ospreay versus Omega.
I think there's also a chance Yuta might get booked just because he was in Super Juniors.
Yeah, they'll put Yuta in one of them 10-man tags that opens the show.
At least he gets booked. At least he's getting booked on the biggest show of the year. Like, whatever. All right. So how would you like to do WWE? Do you want to just overview each show individually and whatever?
Sure.
Okay. Let's start with... Let's start with SmackDown. Why not?
Okay.
So, this is where we're at with SmackDown. Obviously, right now, you're top of the card. You have Roman and Drew setting up for Cardiff.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, in the background of the top spot, Killer Cross is lurking, apparently. Which begs me to ask this question. As silly as I thought it would have sounded a month ago, it doesn't sound quite as silly right now. Because of the insertion of Killer Cross into this dynamic, has it now become more feasible over the last 3 weeks to think Drew beating Roman, it could be a legitimate option for Cardiff?
Nope.
So you're still hanging, and I'm in agreement But I just wanted to make sure you haven't changed. Are we still on the belief of Roman hanging it onto it until Mania?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
It's
I just
because
want to.
everyone thinks that it's a foregone conclusion that Drew's going to win in Cardiff.
Right. Agreed. Agreed. Um.
What's going to happen is it's going to be a banger of a match, and there's going to be some fuckery at the end that involves Cross to set up a program between Drew and Cross for the next few months.
Correct. I'm glad we can agree on that. I'm glad we can agree on that.
Everyone that thinks it's going to be this whole, oh, they're going to add Cross and they're going to divide up the belts again. No, they just unified the fucking belts. They're not going to separate them.
Right. Let it breathe. Then we get the whole Liv, Shayna, Ronda shit going on. So the gist of what I'm getting is obviously Shayna wins her shot at the belt at Cardiff. So that's been building between her and Liv. At the same time, it's almost like they're trying to get Ronda to return to badass, don't give a fuck version of Ronda.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, that's causing conflict between her and Shayna because Shayna's trying to be like, there's rules here, like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Almost as if they're trying to set up Shayna and Ronda at some point.
Yeah.
So, is this tip in the hand that maybe WWE feels like too much too soon for Liv, and they're just going to put the belt on Shayna and Cardiff and lead it to Shayna Ronda for the belt at some point?
I don't know if they're going to put the belt on Shayna and Cardiff. I think we're going to get Liv eking out a win again, but it's good. It's going to lead to something. They're it's a weird type of thing because like Shayna's a Triple H chick, so like obviously everyone thinks that's obviously
Ronda kind of Triple H chick too.
Yeah, but Ronda was the UFC draw chick. So I mean, Trips definitely was like big in getting her there, but she was definitely a Vince girl. Right. And you can tell like that's why Shayna's never had a run at the top since coming up to the main roster. It's because she was Triple H chick.
Right.
But at the same time, like
she got was whatever she was doing with Natty.
Right.
Yeah, and that's really it, honestly.
Yeah, and like I've never been big on Shayna, so I really shouldn't be the one to comment on it.
Then here's the thing, there was a time like even like leading up to SummerSlam where it felt like the tag titles were one of the hottest things on their on TV, both shows, Raw and SmackDown. Now since SummerSlam, it's like there's nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's number one. It's because they really did nothing to keep the women's tag division intact. They were just, and it shows now where they just literally threw together teams for this tournament. Like
no, I'm talking about the men's tag titles.
Oh, the men's tag titles. Oh, sorry.
Because it was Usos and Profits. That was hot for a few months, and now
they're trying.
Haven't done anything since SummerSlam.
Right. The Usos haven't done anything. They just had the Raiders. Like, it looks like they closed the book on the Raiders and the New Day for now because Xavier and Big E are both out on injury. So you really can't do anything there. Alpha Academy are just pretty much job squad now. They need more tag teams on the main roster because you obviously, like you can't do, you've run your course with the Profits and the Usos. So you need something else. Unfortunately, Boogs is still injured, so you don't have Nakamura and Boogs.
Orton's still out.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really like. You've got Maximum Male Models and you've got the Lotharios, which neither are anything of note. Really, like that's the problem. You don't have any tag teams that are of any merit right now. It's gonna be a big rebuilding phase. Like, in all honesty, they should really look at NXT and see who's ready right away and hotshot some people up to the main roster, especially with the closing of UK, which obviously we'll get to.
By the way, the Viking Raiders vignette from this past week.
Yeah.
Is it me or was that Sarah Rowe that was the third person in that vignette?
I think it was, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it makes sense.
Plus, I think they shot it on Ray's property anyway, so that would
Yeah, exactly. That's why it makes sense. And the whole thing is like, what do you call it? Ray and Sarah are practicing heathens. So like, obviously, if you want to make something look at least partially authentic, you want to make sure you do it right.
Fair, very fair. Um, by the way, I love the Sammy backstage segment with Roman,
Yeah.
where he gets the audience like he's a fucking pope. First of
Yeah.
all,
Uh-huh.
second of all, the little things. Fucking Jay calling and telling Sammy they're having trouble at the border.
Well, it was true. They couldn't get into Canada.
I know. That's what made it funny. Like they took the.
Yeah.
I love that
And
whole segment. Was funny.
honestly, I think that's what might happen with the tag division. Is I think because they obviously they announced a draft coming up in September. I think we might get the reunion of Sammy and KO to go after the Usos.
Which would be interesting because you did get that little drop from Roman asking him to keep check on KO.
Right. And then they basically turned KO babyface.
Well, they were in Toronto. I don't know if you really want to say they put.
True. It could be that Bizarro Land thing, but we shall see.
That's why Sammy was getting popped in his intro for the IC title gauntlet contenders match.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do with Hit Row?
Hell if I know. Too early to push them as a dominant tag team, but I mean, okay, so you want to have them feud with the male models? Okay, fine. It's you got a whole lot of green in that ring at the same time.
I don't know. I don't know what you do with them.
Like that, it was that whole segment was pretty cringeworthy. Like it just the whole do it like it doesn't work without Swerve. Like you need another element there if you're going to do this. At least put R-Truth with them. Have Truth be like the Dr. Dre to their fucking thing.
I agree it's missing something. I don't know what you would do at this point because Swerve's not there.
Right.
Sheamus wins the Fatal 5-Way. He earns the IC title shot against fucking Gunther.
Which will be decent. It'll be a good pop. You got two Euro guys going at it. Give them a good 20 minutes. People will be happy.
We'll just name that the de facto frontrunner for stiffest match of the night. How about that?
Yeah.
But then we get to the real cluster fuck of everything. That's the SmackDown side of the women's tag team title tournament. So, all right.
Guess what? Don't bring people up from NXT that are too fucking green because they all get hurt.
All right. So let's just rewind though. So obviously Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah, they won their SmackDown semifinal against Xia Li and Shotzi. So they already advanced in. The other SmackDown semifinal is supposed to be Sonya Deville and Natalya against Zoe Stark and Nikita Lyons. Apparently, and it's funny because I actually made a note about this during her match against Mandy Rose earlier in the week. Zoe Stark was hurt during that match. And
so was Ass Bitch.
Just to rewind, just to skip ahead, one of the notes I have from that Mandy Rose Zoe Stark match was, actually this was the note of the match. Quote, Mandy Rose retains over Zoe Stark while constantly making sure her tits didn't fall out and almost killing Zoe in the process.
Mm-hmm.
That's the note I have from that match. We'll come back to that.
Mm-hmm.
So Zoe hurt. So
Ass Bitch hurt again.
And apparently there was also rumor about her vaccination status. She comes out and says, no, it's not about that. Whatever it was, they're out. So they replaced it with Toxic Traction, JC Jane, and Gigi Dolan. They have Gigi and JC go over on Sonya and Natalia, and then come Raw last night, as we're recording this on Tuesday, August 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
It's revealed that Gigi got hurt
What a
during that
fucking
match,
surprise.
apparently. I don't know if it was during that match, or I don't know if they did a tour of Florida this weekend and she got hurt. I don't know what it was, but somehow Gigi gets hurt. So now, to add to the clusterfuck going on, instead of just saying "fuck it," let's just put Raquel and
Just give him a
Aaliyah and
bye.
give them a bye. They're now going to do a fucking second chance 4-way on Friday Night SmackDown this week, and taking all the 4 teams that lost in their respective semifinals and putting them into this match, which would be Dana Brooke and Tamina, Nikki Ash and Doudrop, Sonya and Natty, and Xia Li and Shotzi,
Mm-hmm.
with them eventually facing Raquel and Aaliyah in the SmackDown finals.
Mm-hmm.
One would assume it's just going to be Sonya. Like, why don't you just put Sonya and Natty in at that point?
Right, exactly.
Because it's not going to be Dana Brooke and Tamina. I'm going to go ahead and assume it's not going to be Nikki and Doudrop because they're Raw.
Right.
And I'm sorry, unless I love Shotzi, Xia and
Shotzi and Xia have done nothing of merit lately, so they have no clout.
Right. But then the question becomes, you're in Cardiff for Saturday and Sunday.
Uh-huh.
Are you pre-taping SmackDown for next week?
I don't know if they are or not. I thought they were doing the finals the week of on Raw.
But they just did the finals this week. They did them last night. Oh no. They did the Raw finals, I mean. But the whole concept was, I believe the title match wasn't supposed to be in Cardiff.
Was it? No, it's not. It can't be in Cardiff because of the fact that they've got
you're going to have whoever wins the second chance match wrestle twice this Friday?
No, I think the championship match is going to be next Friday on SmackDown, which I think they're airing from England. Because they obviously because Dakota and Io were in the finals and they're already booked for the 6-woman at Cardiff.
I got this. Hang on, let me scroll down here. Don't just show me events near me. Fuck off. God, come on. Here we go. All right, so SmackDown's in Detroit this Friday. Then they're in Springfield, Mass. Saturday. Manchester, New Hampshire Sunday. Raw's in Pittsburgh. We all knew that.
Yep, it's Kurt Angle.
They must be taping SmackDown for next week in Detroit, because there's no SmackDown date for next Friday. Because then they have Clash of the Castle Saturday. They haven't even officially booked the NXT Worlds Collide.
They're doing it this Tuesday. Calendar. They're announcing it Tuesday.
And then they have Raw Monday on Labor Day in Kansas City.
Yeah, so they must be pre-taping that SmackDown in Detroit, and that's where the finals of the women's tag belts is going to be.
And they're in Seattle that Friday.
Seattle.
Acknowledge me. Yeah. And they're doing the whole West Coast swing after that. After Kansas City, they're in Seattle for SmackDown September the 9th. And then they go through Colorado and Washington that weekend for live events. And they're in Portland for Raw, Anaheim for SmackDown, San Jose the following Monday for Raw, Salt Lake City for SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're back in Canada for Edmonton for the end of September and SmackDown in Winnipeg.
Yeehaw.
And they somehow worked their way back over to Philly for Extreme Rules on October 8th. It's another Saturday, by the way. Another Saturday premium live event.
Huh, interesting.
With Raw in Brooklyn that following Monday.
Ooh.
So.
It's all right.
So the weekend of Extreme Rules is the Extreme Rules is the night after Bound for Glory. Just to piece everything together for you.
Wait, Bound for Glory, the Albany show's on a Friday night?
The Bound for Glory show is Friday, and then they're doing Impact tapings the following night on Saturday.
Oh man.
So, yeah, so that's that's
You
that
notice
news.
SmackDown was up like 400,000 people this week?
I wonder why
By
people figured out the real wrestling's on WWE's television. I guess. All right.
the way, have you noticed that now Meltzer's biggest gripe is the matches are too long on Raw and SmackDown?
Is he high?
Well, yeah.
Whatever, dog. Whatever. All right, let's shift over to NXT since we kind of referenced it already.
Mhm.
Carmelo's still champ. He beats Vinci.
Which is decent. It's hard when you've got a heel versus heel dynamic.
So Diamond Mine is obviously splintering at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But then you decide to have Gallus jump them
Yes.
when they're obviously. So you're gonna have Gallus jump them in them.
It was a whole tease, but now they're not going to split Diamond Mine. Either that or it's going to literally be them kicking out Roddy or Roddy going rogue and it just having the greenest of the green versus Gallus whooping the ass.
Fuck it, kick out Roddy and have Apollo come in and go face. I don't know. I don't know. But then eventually later in the night you have, let me find it. Hold on. Briggs and Jensen backstage. They're interrupted by Gallus.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be Briggs and Jensen against Gallus for the NXT UK tag team titles tonight at NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, doesn't have a whole hell of a lot. Well, let me double check here because I do have the site open. Last I checked, there wasn't a whole lot booked for this show aside from that. The lights out match they're having between Wendy Chu and Tiffany Stratton.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just announced today, Tyler Bates going to go one-on-one in a non-title match against Von Wagner.
Whoop that ass!
I hope so. Please be the stiffest motherfucker you can be to Von. Please.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Kick him in the dick!
Grayson Waller gets his own talk show. Lovely.
Yay.
Grayson Waller effect his guest, Apollo Crews. Yay. Yay. Fuck us all. Yay. What else we got in this bitch? La 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 la. Core Jade beats Roxy.
Terrible.
Sure. Tony D beats Santos. Santos gone from NXT.
Which, like, I hate the fact that they had Tony D go over another guy, but this means put Santos on Raw, baby. It's time. I don't like leave. Even if you want to leave the rest of Legado down there, put Santos up. It's time. Santos only got a few years. He was already in his late 30s. Like, it's time. Raw? Yeah, definitely Raw. Have him feud with Ray, man. Just rehash that Lucha Underground magic they had together.
Okay. Then you get Indy Hartwell, Kaden, and Katana backstage. Then Indy gets a message from Dexter.
Dexy.
Then Blair Davenport shows up, snatches the letter, and tears it up in front of Indy.
Because we got to shoehorn as many British people in as possible because of stuff.
Gotta book Worlds Collide somehow, I guess.
Well, not only that, but we're about to have an influx of people in NXT.
Oh, right, because of NXT UK shutting down.
Yep.
And then they're going to start up NXT Europe next year.
Yep.
Okay. Already talked about Mandy Rose and Zoe Stark. Do you have anything special to add to that at all?
Terrible.
Right. Okay. I don't know if I really want to say what I want to say about this.
Say it.
It's going to come up as super sensitive, I think.
Say it.
I don't think whoever this is doing the Super Diva gimmick is going to work.
Oh, Little Atari?
Quincy Elliott, not
Yeah,
going to work.
Quincy was Little Atari on the Indies. I've seen some of Quincy's work. And plus Quincy's actually been doing a lot of level up for the past few months. And the thing was, it was a stop start because Quincy was supposed to be feuding with Harland. And unfortunately, Harland was the drizzling shits and then got released.
Oh, right. I remember that towards the very end of Harlan being in NXT. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Quincy is a Quincy can cut a what do you call it? Lil Tari can cut a decent promo and can work. I want to give it a chance. I hate the fact that the lowest of the low of the basement goblins are out who keep saying, "Oh, he's gay, he's a ripoff of Sunny Kiss." There's been thousands of gay wrestlers.
That's not even what I was thinking about. Is it weird that is it weird that watching his vignette or whatever the fuck you want to call what that was? It didn't even make me think of Sunny Kiss or gay wrestlers in general. You know who it made me think of?
Velveteen Dream.
Yeah.
It's a little bit. And I mean, that's the thing is because it's.
I'm not saying it's a Velveteen Dream ripoff, but like, I don't know why. It just
right.
It instantly made me think of Dream, and I'm like.
Right. Well, I mean, because Quincy was listed on that list of top 50 out wrestlers last year.
Right.
And like, it's a progressive move by WWE to book someone who's openly out and who can do this. Cause I mean, this is something that we wouldn't have even seen 5-10 years ago. This little Fred Rosser had to stay in the closet for God knows how long.
Right.
So I mean, we'll see how it works, and I think it's a matter of once Quincy gets in the ring and they see it's another 400-pound guy that can move like a cruiserweight, people will start popping.
Right. Since we're kind of on topic with that, before I get to shitting on JD McDonough for a second, did you see? So, all right. Did you know that Kayla Braxton came out as bisexual recently?
I did not.
Okay. So she came out as bisexual recently.
Okay.
Apparently, a former WWE employee, openly gay employee, who then went to AEW, came out and basically took shots at her for doing that.
What was it, Jake Atlas?
Yes. Good on Kayla. She fired back at him and basically said, I'd rather be doing what I'm doing and spreading my message than appearing as a star on TMZ spreading your message.
Yep.
So
rock on,
Kayla. Nice job. Real quick, main event from NXT, we have Braun retaining over JD. JD learn how to do blood packets better in your mouth.
I know this is the second time he fucked up on the blood capsule stuff.
Just stupid. And then Bate comes out and faces off with Braun to go off the air. I would assume, I could be wrong, that's going to be a unification match.
It is. It's so worlds collide, and they're probably announcing all of this tonight. But the way it goes, it looks like there's going to be a bunch of unification matches on this show that's happening Sunday at 4 p.m. Obviously, 1 p.m. My bad. Obviously, because they announced that NXT UK is taking a hiatus, but in all honesty, it's shutting down because NXT Europe is opening next year.
Correct.
Which makes more sense in the long run because originally Trips' whole plan was to do NXT UK and then NXT Eastern Europe, and it didn't work out. And as we saw, there were a bunch of UK releases this past week, and it wasn't anyone like of a lot of merit. Like the only one that I was kind of upset about was Flash Morgan Webster because I like him.
Right. Yep.
But really, for the most part, it was a bunch of lower card people. So, but Trips definitely kept a bunch of people that he wants. The issue is going to be, obviously, there's going to be an influx of talent at NXT now, but that's kind of what they need because there's just too many fucking greenhorns there. They need experienced people, which is why I'm glad Gallus is there. I'm glad that Tyler Bate just showed up. JD McDonough I could give a fuck about. But it's all, basically the card for the card for Worlds Collide, it looks like we'll have a title unification between Bate and Braun, which in all honesty, Braun should lose that fucking match. Tyler Bate should fucking win that shit. Fucking, they keep talking about how much of a prodigy Braun Breaker is. Send him up to fucking main event and see how he does.
Right.
Get him off of NXT because it's.
Did he already have dark matches up there, anyways?
Maybe. I know that they had him on Raw a couple of times, like when they had him fucking beat Ziggler for the NXT title because Bruce Christian is a douche. But yeah, like just send him up. See, sink or swim. Because all he's doing is causing problems in NXT. All he's doing is making everyone else there look like shit. Mm-hmm. And it's not a matter of him being a prodigy. It's the fact that they keep feeding everyone of merit to him. And then everyone of merit loses their clout. Because here's this dude who's been there fucking 9 fucking months, who's already a fucking 3-time champion. Like, get rid of him. Put it on Tyler Bate. Let Tyler Bate run with that shit for a while. Especially because they fucked up and they had Tyler Bate come out with the UK title before any of the UK tournament for the vacated title actually aired on TV.
Whatevs. Who cares?
Whatevs. But so you're going to have that. I'm guessing we're going to have a balls out fucking ladder match for the unified tag titles. I think it's going to be Diamond Mine, Gallus, Briggs and Jensen, and Pretty Deadly. I think it's going to be a 4-way with the belts hanging.
Okay.
Because, I mean, you could have Briggs and Jensen drop the fucking tag belts to get to Gallus tonight and just do Gallus versus Diamond Mine. But the thing is, Pretty Deadly have been like so ensconced in that program with Briggs and Jensen. It just makes more sense to do a 4-way there.
I agree.
The only thing they haven't built right now is the women's title match, which I keep forgetting her name, Aki or whatever. Aki, the chick who's the Japanese chick who's the Satomura. Yeah, they haven't brought in Satomura yet, which I'm assuming they'll do tonight. And if they have her do the fucking job to Mandy Rose, that's just going to be an embarrassment. It's going to be a terrible match and it's going to be an embarrassment. So you know something, especially if they want to put the Great Value Goths on SmackDown, fucking just send them up. Let them all sink or swim time. That's what I'm saying. Sink or swim. Fucking have Mandy drop the belt. Have Mandy go up to the fucking main roster with that shit and see if they can actually hack it on the main program or not. Because I'm tired of seeing Mandy Rose on fucking NXT. I'm tired of it. It's done. It's over. It's done. I'm sorry. So put that on there. And then Heritage Cup is what it is. They can just kind of say bye-bye to that.
North American title.
To have Mello they can build something for Mello in the next couple of weeks. Because there's no other titles in the UK
my assumption would be Mello and Wesley.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, I could see that happening. Definitely.
Let me think. Women's tag titles, who knows?
Right.
Because they don't have women's tag titles in the UK.
Right.
I don't even know who the fuck you'd even put in there with Kaden and Katana at this point. Because there's nothing set up for them.
They could always throw together a team or something. I mean, because we need to consider the UK women who are going to come over. I'm assuming Ginny is going to come over because she's Walter's girl. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping they bring over Isla Dawn.
Okay.
I'm guessing Zaya Brookside.
Because of Robbie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Besides that, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. You don't know say.
I mean, we're probably going to get Noam Dar back over in NXT. Dude just won't go away.
It's like a cockroach. Just go away.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a bad way, no, I'm just saying.
And I mean, obviously, once Dragunov is healed, he'll be back, but God knows how long it's going to be.
Right.
But yeah, they need to not have Tyler Bate do the fucking job to fucking Braun Breaker. Like, no, and no. Or God knows. Oh my God, I didn't even think of it. There's someone else that's been teasing their return for Worlds Collide.
Huh?
Teasing a return to the World's gimmick. Make that a 3-way.
Done?
Yeah. You want to talk about a fucking UK crowd popping? Or wait, they're not even in the UK. They're in the fucking PC. Damn it, never mind.
They're not going over there for that show?
No. It's going to be at the fucking PC. Which makes no sense as to why it's at 1 p.m. on a Sunday. I mean, it makes sense so the kids are like, all out.
That breaks my heart.
Breaks my heart too. It should be. I mean, unless I'm mistaken.
That really that sucks.
Let me see. Maybe I'm mistaken. Could I be mistaken?
No, it's at the PC. You're right.
Damn it!
It's at the PC.
That's some bullshit right there.
By the way, I'll give you an insight as to why I believe it's at 1 o'clock and not 4 o'clock. If I remember correctly, that is the official opening weekend of college football.
Oh.
And I believe there's going to be a few games that Sunday. I'm double checking right now. So
football.
So the unofficial opening to college football, they have there's a handful of games this coming Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
But the real opening is Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
Sunday. Let me look at Sunday here. Scroll. Yeah, there's a big Sunday primetime game on ABC.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
Okay.
That'd be my assumption as to why they'd probably go early. Honestly, even if they go at 4, they should be done by 6:30, 7 o'clock. The game isn't until 7:30, so
right.
Whatever. Anyways,
hey, you want to do a live recap after Worlds Collide?
Might not be a bad idea, actually.
We could cover the Clash and the Worlds Collide at the same time.
We could. Keep your mind open to that.
I mean, since it'll be done by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that's doable.
Sure. We'll talk. All right, let's get to Raw. Whoa. What am I doing? There we go.
Oh, no.
We're getting to Raw. All right, so let's try to summarize 2 weeks of Raw real quick. Number one, did they change the opening package to Raw, by the way?
I believe so. It seemed like it.
It seemed like a different song. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
No pun intended on the rhyme. Whatever.
Yeah.
So, number one, we have Judgment Day and everything that's going on with them. Sneak attacking Ray. Oh, no, excuse me. Ray was sneak attacking them, but then
we didn't cover Raw last week?
Did we?
We did.
Did we? Okay.
Yes. I was like, why are we covering 2 weeks in a row?
I don't know why. I don't know why I have it still on my phone then.
Oh no.
Anyways, so we opened Raw. Whoops. We opened Raw with Seth and Riddle brawling.
Yep.
Backstage and then out in the crowd.
Hot start to the show, which is good.
Basically setting up Seth. It's setting up Seth and Riddle for Cardiff. Let's just
right. I mean, they already announced it, but they're. I feel like there's going to be a stip added to that next week. I feel like they're going to make it a cage match or something.
Possibly, considering the runaway stuff that they've been doing.
Yeah.
Then we get Trish in the ring. Interrupted by Damage Control.
Now, Is it official that they're Damage Control? Like, I know that
they haven't announced them as such.
they filed the trademark for the name Damage Control, but at the same time, who was it? I think it was Jimmy Smith kept calling them the Disruptors. So Damage Control could very, very well be Bianca, Asuka, and
I don't know. All right, so I'll just call them
Alexa.
Bailey, Dakota, and Io for now.
Right. We're not sure who's going to be Damage Control yet.
Then Bianca, Alexa, and Asuka provided backup to Trish, which naturally transitioned into the Raw Finals in the tag team tournament, which Dakota and Io won over Alexa and Asuka. How do you feel about that choice?
I kind of felt like it was going to happen. Like, you need the heels to look strong going into Cardiff. So that way, when the baby faces go over, it's the big pop. Okay. A friend of mine was all saying, he's like, I hate the fact that Bailey's group are going to be the de facto jobbers. I'm like, you don't know that.
Then we get Dolph backstage being interviewed before his match with Finn, which Finn interrupts, blah, blah, blah. Finn beats Ziggler. So Ziggler's now lost back-to-back to Theory and Finn.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't read too much anything into that. Just
right. He's being a mechanic for the time being until they figure out the spot for him.
Right. Aaliyah backstage being interviewed, interrupted by Bailey and company. Then Trish comes in and helps Aaliyah challenge Bailey for later in the night. Segment ends with Pierce walking by showing two security guards a picture of Dexter Lumis.
I love the little bits.
That'll come back around later. And Alpha Cat. See, originally I thought they were doing an open challenge for a tag match, but then only KO came out, and I'm like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Right. So KO beats Chad Gable in a singles match, and then lays out both him and Otis.
Right. They missed a spot there because the crowd was chanting for Sammy.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's because, again, you labeled it Alpha Academy Open Challenge, so the assumption was there it's a tag team challenge.
Right.
But whatever. They get Judgment Day talking shit backstage for the Edge match later in the night.
Mm-hmm.
Then Bailey beats Aaliyah. Go figure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that's a temporary look for Bailey or a permanent look. I don't know. It has to grow on me. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Then we have Miz and Ciampa against AJ Styles and Bobby Lashley in a tag match. As we get towards the end of the match, there's a guy pretending to be Dexter Lumis, reaching out to try and touch or attack AJ Styles. So security drags him off. Meanwhile, 30 seconds later, on the opposite side outside the ring, Miz is standing up against the barrier, and Lumis is dressed head to toe in SWAT gear. He takes off the helmet to reveal it's him, and then basically puts Miz in a rear naked choke and drags him backstage.
And rape. I mean, they threw us all for a loop. No one thought that Dexter Lumis was stalking Miz for the past few weeks.
Right, yeah.
I know. So did this makes the stalker / kidnapper the de facto babyface?
Sure.
It's just fucking weird, but I love it.
It's so weird.
It's like, you come on with me. You're mine now. Your name is Peaches.
And then, for whatever reason, that they called for the bell after that happened.
Yeah.
So they just had AJ and Lashley lay out Ciampa, and that was the match. Like,
yeah,
sure. And then
it was weird, but it was interesting.
Yeah. And then what I think was your favorite part of the night.
Oh God, yes.
Johnny Gargano returns to WWE. Announces he's part of Raw. He comes out to Rebel Heart. Theory then comes out.
I just couldn't believe it. I was literally sitting here because, like, I was, I was out of surgery. I was kind of still woozy, and stomach was bothering me. Wife made me some chicken soup. And so she just brings my soup to me, and I'm sitting here, and it comes back, and I just see the word Gargano flash against the Tron, and I was like, "What? Holy shit! Life is wonderful."
What's the best part about it, though?
It's just the fact that they went the route with bringing Theory out and just put them in a program right together. because obviously that's going to help both of them. The fact that Johnny got to cut a genuine heartfelt promo. The fact that he's not on Dynamite.
You're not getting to the important part of what I'm trying to get at.
Just, I mean, the whole package was just wonderful. Like, it's they chose the right location to bring him out because he obviously got to mention that that's where he won the tag titles in NXT. They did the right thing for the casual audience who might not have known where he was, and he was like, "My name is Johnny Gargano. I was a big thing in NXT. These are all the titles I won in NXT, and now I'm here. I got a baby. I'm a baby wrestling." What am I missing?
It was a genuine surprise.
Yes, exactly. It was. There was no word about it anywhere. Actually, you know where there was word? Apparently, AEW on TNT tweeted that Gargano was all elite. And they fucked up.
No comment.
I fucking loved it. It's like it's Johnny. It's like Johnny he's like one of the most genuine fucking people in the world. Like super nice dude in the locker room. Like great fucking worker. I'm just happy. Like it's the past few weeks, the surprise that they brought back for the most part, I've like the second the surprises happen, I'm like, this is good. That this makes me happy. And everyone's like, Triple H is just turning it into NXT Black and Gold and it's going to fail, just like NXT did. NXT didn't fucking fail. It's still on the damn air.
It got rebranded because
Vince didn't like the super indie feel.
In other words, Vince wasn't with the times.
Exactly. It's like, guess what? These crowds genuinely care because Trips is being smart about placing people in the right venues, so that way when they come out, it's that kind of like word of mouth mentality, because like I said, like that was the venue where DIY won the NXT tag belts. Mm-hmm. So that building has a history of NXT takeovers. Plus it's Canada, you've got more of the niche audience than you do the
smart
casual
people.
Exactly. So that's when people are there, and the people in the crowd who go, "Who is this?" And the person next to him turns and goes, "His name's Johnny Gargano." See, now he's talking about it. That's how you fucking introduce someone. Not have a dude in a fucking bad mask on commentary go, "Oh my God, this man was the biggest thing ever in Japan." No one gives a fuck. When a dude comes out and says, "This is me. This is what I've done. I used to be on NXT. Now I'm here. This is my story." Boom, done. It's not that hard.
No, it's not. It's really fucking not. All right. Then we get to the end of the show. Edge beats Damian Priest like we all expected. Then after the match, Rhea and Finn lay out Edge. But before they can go after Edge with a chair, Beth hops the rail and chases them off with a chair.
Ugh. Which means we're going to get a mixed tag match in Cardiff.
Probably.
It's not what I wanted. I wanted Edge versus the Demon. What we're going to get is Judgment Day versus Edge, Beth, and Ray.
Oh, maybe. I didn't think about
That's what we're going to get.
And then Dom joins the House of Black. No, I'm kidding.
No. Dom needs to go the fuck away. If he joins Judgment Day, that's the nail in the coffin for Judgment Day. No one's going to give a fuck. It's like when I put Nick King in the Revelation. In the end of it, nobody fucking cared.
Sorry, Nick. I did not expect that sentence to come out of your mouth today.
Jesus. I'm sorry. Like it's that was a book on the fly situation.
Sorry, Nick. And sorry, Billy, if you're watching too. Couple of quick things. Number one, did you apparently hear this rumor of Nick Khan? I don't know who he was talking to or what interview it was, that he mentioned the possibility of putting Raw and SmackDown on Netflix at some point.
I heard something to that effect, but I thought it was like, as in like back catalog stuff. Which makes no sense because it's already on.
You had the WWE Network on Peacock.
Well, because here's the issue: is it's that ongoing issue with Peacock and Hulu where it has to be at least 4 weeks old before it shows up on Peacock because Hulu still has the rights to the new episodes.
Right.
So I think it might have been something to that effect where once the Hulu contract is over, the new episodes would go to Netflix, but it still makes no sense. Just give it to fucking Peacock. Like, I think Nick Khan is all like, I want to start a bidding war because Peacock already paid us and they're not going to pay us more.
Shut
And
the
he doesn't want.
fuck up, Nick.
Honestly, it's kind of like what Stone and Parker pulled with South Park.
So stupid.
How the old catalog is on HBO Max, but the new shit's on Paramount Plus.
Yeah. Jeff Jarrett going from WWE.
That was odd. Was that amicable or was that just fuck off, you're out?
I'm not sure because it's been all quiet on the Western Front. Nobody's saying anything.
I mean, we know Road Dogg replaced him.
Right. But nobody's
Which is
saying
just
anything.
funny because it is 30 years later and the same shit's still happening.
That's fucked, but it's true. I don't know. There's been nothing said about it, so I'm assuming it's amicable.
Right. I mean, Jarrett hasn't come out and been like bitch wind him up. I mean, I'm sure Trips gave him a generous severance package.
Maybe we should check out Jeff Jarrett's podcast to find out.
No, because then I'd have to listen to fucking Conrad.
It was a joke. Relax.
Plus, he probably signed an NDA.
I'll give you the severance, but you have to suck my dick. Just because Vince is gone doesn't mean the package changed.
Wow. Jesus. Anyways, have you heard who Gable Stevenson's being trained by?
No. He's not at the PC?
Ken Anderson.
Interesting. I don't know if that would be my first choice.
Just putting that out there.
I mean, nothing against Anderson. I like Anderson. I think that it's smart to have him work with a guy that knows how to cut a promo like no one's business, as well as work. Mm-hmm. I just usually with a guy who you really want to get sound stuff, you send him to someone like Rip Rogers or Danny Davis. Like that's what they sent Pat McAfee to.
I don't know. It's odd.
But maybe this is a bridge that's being built, and maybe we'll see a return of Mr. Kennedy sometime, even for a one shot.
Last thing I want to show you. This is a complete surprise because I don't think you would have seen this on Facebook last week. It's a graphic for an indie event coming up in Pennsylvania.
Oh boy.
You ready for this?
I don't know. Oh God. Oh God.
So.
Oh God.
Not friends now, but former friends, PPW, are hosting a show in November, first Friday in November in Reading, Pennsylvania, where they are co-branding the show with Control Your Narrative.
Oh, that's not a smart move.
And on the poster is Adam Scherr. You have EC3. You have Austin Aries.
Is Austin Aries wearing the old Undertaker mask? What the fuck?
Yeah, the sunglasses do look kind of odd. That or it's the growth of his beard, one or the other.
Yeah.
Then on the right side, you have some dudes from PPW.
Alpha Jr.
Yep. And I can't remember this guy in the middle front. He was using Ring of Honor too.
Oh, I thought that was Andy Hedder for a second.
No, it's
it's not Andy Hedder. It looks like Andy Hedder.
I thought it was the guy that they were using in Ring of Honor for a little while there. The dude with like the spray paint gimmick kind of thing. I can't remember his damn name. But anyways, so yeah. I just thought you'd be interested in seeing that as an indie promoter yourself. I thought that would be an interesting.
That's a death knell. I would not do that.
Just like you would want to be aware, just to say it. Yeah. Yeah. So that pretty much does it. Just a reminder, though, that hey, about our friends at Mohawk Honda, team that can find you what you're looking for, but not just searching their lot, but also searching up and down the entire eastern seaboard. And right now, the opportunity is for either trading in or selling your vehicle, because right now Mohawk Honda is buying cars, and in some cases, maybe able to sell it for more than you paid for it. Because, as I've been saying, the supply chain still facing challenges since COVID, which creates a perfect selling opportunity for you, like it has for the last number of months. And as always, if you're looking to flat out buy or even sell your vehicle, talk to the team. Cars with Current, my man Current, Sabota. Trust Trav Landry, Louis the VIP man Morales, my man Cam McKenna, or just go right to the main man in charge, General Manager Greg Johnson. Get the hookup that you are looking for. Mohawk Honda, Freeman's Bridge Road in Scotia. They want to buy your car and then possibly turn you around into a brand new or certified pre-owned used vehicle off their lot, because Mohawk Honda always goes out of their way to please you. We want to thank Mohawk Honda as well as Johnstone Supply for sponsoring this episode of White Heat, presented by Godzilla Media, episode 63. But before we go, one last note from Mr. Alexander. What would that be, sir?
Yeah, well, it's a two-parter. Just
Two-parter.
if you want to look at the date, it's when we recorded this, it's August 23rd. Next, what do you call it? Tomorrow, August 21st is the 1 year anniversary of us losing Big Jim Anderson, and that shit came up quick. I know that unfortunately, my situation is keeping me from doing stuff, but I have been in works and talks a little bit here and there when we do return to do some sort of memorial tournament for Jim that I've been kind of working around, thinking about doing in the future. I hope that comes to fruition in 2023. Also, there's one other thing I forgot to mention the past couple episodes. We lost a fan a few weeks back, Larry Boucher. I remember I mentioned it to you. He was a big fan. He came to all the DPW shows. He used to come to all the RPW shows, PvP, Blitzkrieg. He was a huge fan of all the shows in Connecticut and Mass. He passed away. He was dealing with a lot of health issues over the past 2 years. And unfortunately, he doesn't have any family, and he was kind of destitute. So there's still a GoFundMe going for his funeral services so they can release his ashes. There's links up on my Facebook page and on the White Heat Facebook page, and I think I shared it on Twitter. But they're definitely very short of the goal. So I know that thing's still going, and if anyone can help out, it'd be greatly appreciated. Just so Larry's remains can go to rest, it would be a nice thing. Just wanted to put that out there.
I certainly second those sentiments from JJ. So please do anything you can, and that would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
That being said, that was episode 63 of White Heat, presented by Godzilla Media, sponsored by our friends at Johnstone Supply, Mohawk Honda. Enjoy the week of wrestling. We'll come back to you next week. We're going to be previewing a lot of shit. We're going to be previewing Worlds Collide, previewing Clash the Castle, previewing All Out. Fuck me sideways. Yeah, and we're going to be doing a quick recap of NWA 74 next week, because I have a feeling that's going to be a shit show and a half, but fuck it, we got to recap it.
Yep.
That all being said, toodles. Say goodbye, JJ.
Goodbye, JJ.